Hey, I'm back. It is blog day. So today's blog is the defense of the foolish or lazy steward. And so this blog is based on Matthew 25:14 through 30, and the parable of the talents. And for those of you who might not remember exactly what this story is about, or just don't know the story, it's about the master who gives a varied number of talents to three servants. The master gives the talents to his slaves or his servants, depending on your translation, according to his ability. The first two servants double their investments, and the third took care of the money the best way he knew how. However, that wasn't good enough, and the master chastised the servant and kicked him out. So that's the very short synopsis of what happens. And every time I hear this story, I always find myself wanting to defend the foolish or lazy servant. You know, the one who just buried the money, the third guy, really, right? So he didn't want to lose his money and he wanted to be able to give it back to his master when his master asked for it. I want to commend the guy. He was at least smart enough and aware enough that he could not handle what his master gave him. I always think that this guy had a spending problem, or maybe he had a credit problem, or he was an addict, right? We don't know the surrounding of why this guy figured out that he was deficient in managing this money and he didn't want to lose his master's money the same way he lost his own money. So he could have been better, sure. Don't get me wrong. He could have put the money in the bank. Even the master says that, right? It's like, you could have even put it in the bank, you fool. But again, maybe, what about the lack of financial education? Maybe no one taught him the basics of keeping money safe. This fellow knew that money flowed through his fingers and he did not know how to stop it. Maybe he had previous experience that told him that bankers were crooked or people who nickel and dimed you through fees or tricks. And maybe there was a run on the bank in his ancestral timeline. His parents told him not to trust bankers or investors. I mean, not even too long ago in American history, people put their money under mattresses because it was not safe in the bank or the stock market. I mean, give the guy credit. He knew enough that he could not manage this money that he was given. And in his mind, it was actually safer to be in the ground. The real problem is, in my opinion, the master punishes him without any correctional information. Of course, maybe the master had given him lessons and the servant had chosen not to follow directions. That kind of ticks me off too, right? You're the parent. You give your kids lessons, you teach them how to do something properly, and then they don't do it right. They get in trouble. So, and that would also make sense. Like, if the master called the guy lazy or foolish because he didn't follow directions, that would be being lazy. Or he didn't follow directions, that could also be considered foolish. The story never does tell us if the servant ever corrected his behavior or what the backstory is, right? We just kind of get this parable. And was the guy ever given a chance to learn how to overcome his money problem? We don't know. But we can hope. I certainly hope that sometime after that incident, someone taught him how to budget, taught him how to fight off financial irresponsibility, and invest properly. That's all what we all can hope for, right? We can hope that he practiced these new skills and learned to be a better person. We hope that he came across a mentor or showed him how to be wise steward and learned how to spot scam artists versus not trusting any banker or investor. Maybe one of those other two guys that did pretty good with doubling their investments, maybe they became his mentor. That would be cool. Or maybe he just sought out the mentor, because that's what we really need to do as stewards. If we don't know how to manage our talents, money or otherwise, we need to seek out those mentors, seek out those coaches that can help us get there. And again, I just alluded to the other kind of talents that this story is people use. And this to describe a person who has hidden their abilities, their God given purpose and talent abilities. So, again, in this context, maybe someone could have told that person, that guy, enough times that his ability would never make him rich or it wasn't practical. So he needed to get a real job. They buried his skills. He buried his skills down deep inside so nobody else could see them because he was told enough times they weren't valuable. They didn't fit the norm of what others thought he should do or could do. It could very well be just the effects of hearing enough times, don't quit your day job, right? I have heard that enough times that I need to get a real job. And when I have a real job, other people are happy. Well, many people told me things that I love to do, especially artistic things or heart centered things, would never amount to much. And I should not hope to make it if I follow down that path. I don't recall anyone encouraging my artistic abilities. I've hidden them. I let other people's opinions control my life's course instead of listening to God and His plan. Then again, to my knowledge, my family has never had any connections to help find the way to develop my talents. So, no fault. I'm not throwing fault or throwing shame on anybody. I've always had to find my way. I found a way to use a skill of being a guide for a greater purpose because I finally came upon mentors who showed me how to do that. I no longer need to be like that foolish steward and hide my talents. I suppose that's why I want to defend the guy because I want to defend myself. Um, I can take what I know and unbury the dead part of me and live a life that will multiply God's blessings, even if I continue to hear that I need to get a real job or don't quit my day job. I'm glad I have found people to teach me how to be a better steward of financial ability talents. I'm ecstatic that I no longer like that foolish steward because I know how to take care of my finances. I know how to share the gifts God has given me. My talents in both financial and my talents in my heart-centered way of being. I'm delighted to help other people learn and rediscover their talents. I'm happy to share my financial lessons with you and to help you avoid maybe the mistakes or the pitfalls that I had. Or if you fell into those traps too, I'm glad to help you come back out of them because those are some pretty nasty places to be. And maybe you have areas in your life in which you are like the steward. You're hiding your talent. You don't know how to use something correctly, or you just need to dig out of the darkness. And I hope you can find a mentor to supply guidance to be the best version of yourself so you do not stay in perpetual darkness or stay out in that desert without growing. Because life may be a desert, it may be dry, and God may feel far away, or you may be along the pricklies, the stickers of a cactus plant and needing to grow there. So, other community resources, of course, are my Little Respite Facebook page, the Catholic Moms Growing in the Desert Facebook group. You can always schedule a life coach session with me. I'm so excited. And the Tuning into God's Plans online retreat or course, however you want to look at it. It's set up to be taken in pieces. And so the links, of course, are in the description of the video or further down in the blog, depending on where you're peeking at the video. So this week's challenge are, what are your talents? What has given God, what? What has God given you to use wisely and to share with the rest of the world? Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. And of course, thank you for reading the blog. Have a good day.